Welcome back, everybody, to Kohler Bluff Dynasty here on College Football 26. Third episode of the series, and we're going to be finishing off this first season here of Kohler Bluff. We're going to get through it. We're going to simulate a couple games, play the moments of a couple games. Then we're going to go through our recruiting. We're going to go through the transfer portal, player upgrades, and then we're going to kind of set the table for the start of Season 2. So we're taking on Buffalo in this one, and our defense stinks. I mean, it just stinks. We don't have a very good defense. I mean, I knew that. But, yeah, we're not very good. And we can't get pressure, and these quarterbacks just kind of have all day to dot us up. And you know when you're getting dot up in the MAC, things are bad. And Buffalo, they're one of the better MAC teams, it appears by their record, and we are one of the worst MAC teams. So, first quarter here, 3rd and 6, just rips it right there between our corner and our safety. And it's not good. That's a touchdown. We're giving those up, and we do get a red zone alert here, but we're down 17-0. I don't understand why the game at the moment is like, hey, we're not going to put you in the game until you're down by like almost 20 points. I don't understand that. Second inches, though. We're going to go for a handoff here. Thought about a read option, but yeah, 1st and goal, pick up the first down, and we tried to keep this drive alive. Now, 2nd and goal, we got a man in motion, throwing this one. Can we get in? No, we cannot. 3rd and goal coming up here. Can we try to get in? 3rd and goal, looking, throwing, firing, finds our man right there, and we finally get a touchdown. We finally get on the board and cut the lead to 10. But we come back now, playing some defense. And, it's one thing for our defense to suck. It's another thing that when I'm not very good on the sticks anyways, and I give up that touchdown. That's on me. So we're down 24-7. This already doesn't look very good. And then we get intercepted right there, backed up against our own end zone. So, when it rains, it pours, I guess, right? And that's just kind of what happens. But we held them to a field goal. Or the AI held them to a field goal. I didn't. We have all day. Throw this one. Touchdown. If we can get a stop and then get the ball back, we might be able to make something happen. 3rd and 7 here. And, yeah, what did I say? If we get a stop, we can make something happen. We give up a touchdown. So, defense could not buy us another meaningful drive. We're here, end of game. This is just for the stat books and the record books. And we get another touchdown here. I believe that's to Malik Henderson. Yeah. They're a little too happy for my liking, honestly. But, they're college kids. What do you expect? 35-21. We're going to lose to Buffalo here. And, yeah, we're definitely not going bowling our first year. I didn't expect us to, but, what did I expect? I don't know what I expect. I expected us to be bad. 3 touchdowns, great. 3 interceptions, not great. I threw a couple of those, so I can't blame them. Running game, our best runner was our quarterback, so that's... I feel like for the most part, that's not great if you don't have like a prolific running quarterback. But Malik Henderson, Brendan Lewis, and Holbrook all getting touchdowns. So that's good for their development. They're freshmen. That's one of the things I made sure to do is to make a lot of our initial players freshmen. Some sophomores, some juniors. But I want to let them be freshmen so they could kind of grow. We can grow with them, I think. So some of them might fall off as we get into the series, but I still think it's cool that we can grow with a lot of these guys. We're able to get some pressure, but, not much else there. So that's disappointing. We do got some running backs we're looking at bringing in. Cedric Kozer. He is a JUCO, junior college, which means he probably doesn't have a really good skill caps. They're probably really maxed out by the time he would even kind of get to us. So that's a little, we'll have to deal with it. We just got to get bodies. Heath Trice, linebacker. We end up getting him. He's a 3-star. That might be our first 3-star of the class. I can't remember. The reason why I'm saying I can't remember necessarily when it comes to this, I'm going to be honest with you. I have played through a ton of this series already. I'm going to be honest with you. We're already at the start of season 3, what I've recorded. So I kind of got back in the kick of playing college football again because the most recent Madden update on my other channel is really bad. We have 5 2-stars. We have 1 3-star. Heath Trice was our first 3-star prospect that we ended up getting to commit. Now we got to take on UMass. And yeah, so, defense here. It would really suck if we jump in here and we give up a big, deep bomb. And we jumped in and we give up a big, deep bomb. So that's not great. Right away, we just jump in and we give up a touchdown right away. And, that's just not very good. This defense is not great at times. And then we get stuff like that where, we bring some pressure, we get a sack. Other times we bring pressure, we get nothing. It's just kind of the nature of the beast when you're playing with a really bad team like this. But right now, we're getting kind of dusted here by UMass. And got guys just running through tackles. I mean, this is not good right now. This is not good. And I shouldn't expect it to be good. I made the team really bad. So 4th and 4 here. I'm just a glutton for punishment, I guess. But either way, we get to Scooter Page right there, and he's able to pick up some nice 95 yards at this point. So, yeah, Darius McLean really struggling right here, but he gets pressured. That would have been a good throw if he could have had the time to make it, but we did not. So, it's very disappointing. 4th and 10 again. We're at that point in the game where we got to go for it. 4th and 10. We throw this one up, and we throw it out the back of the end zone. So, not a very good game for McLean. 4th and 15 now. This is kind of the down and distance we're in. And we have a wide open, I believe that's Jamal Rivers, and it is Jamal Rivers. He's able to outrun the UMass defense right there. We get in for a touchdown, so we're not going to get blanked here. So that's good. But, yeah, I mean, struggling like this against UMass is very disappointing. 2nd and 5. And then that's on me. I did not expect that guy to sit down on that zone. I thought he was going to take someone up in the coverage, and I thought we would have had a check down. But we lose to UMass 30-7. We got a garbage time touchdown on a broken coverage. Yeah. Again, these are the growing pains that we're going to go through. You know what I mean? These are the growing pains that a program like this has to go through. Granted, I know a lot of the future of this program, but I'm not trying to let you know the future right now. I got to keep you interested in watching more of these videos, because you guys have shown a lot of great support for these videos. I really appreciate that. I keep seeing comments about people leaving like what recruits they'd like to be. I don't think I've ever stated that this would be a series where we do viewer recruits. That's just not what we're doing. Sorry. I don't think I led anyone astray here. I don't think I mentioned that we were doing that. Because we're not. Because, yeah. I don't know. We're not. I appreciate you for leaving comments asking that stuff. I'm sure there are other people who do that, but that's not what we're doing right now. Maybe we'll do that for like the final year whenever I think we're closing in on that. We're nowhere near that just yet. But Joseph Montgomery would be a 3-star wide receiver, 5'8", 162 pounds, but we do have playing time and proximity to home are both A+. That's good enough for our hard sell. Even with the F, that's enough points on the A+, A+. We have a B and 2 Fs for Julius Holiday. That reminds me of my report cards when I was a kid. Pay attention in school, kids. But we're going to simulate these next 2 games against Kent State and Bowling Green just to get through the season a little bit quicker, And then we're going to finish things off taking on UConn. And I have to say, one of the things that's really annoying me is that the weather is broken on all team builders. For whatever reason, it's like a balmy 70 degrees, even though this is in like, it's still southeastern Wisconsin, but it is a little bit above Milwaukee, Sheboygan is. It should not be 71 degrees this late in the year, like it is for some of these games, especially our last game, which is like mid-November. It should be a little bit cooler, should be like the 40s. Maybe 30s. It should be cool for these games. But yeah, we lost to Kent State. I might make a wish list video here very soon talking about things I want to see for College Football 27. But yeah. And we lose to Kent State 51-17. I mean, we just got obliterated by Kent State. And now we got to take on Bowling Green. We'll see what we can do here with Bowling Green. And, can we get a win in Sim? I don't know. We're in a recruiting battle with Ball State. I believe they have the pipeline for that recruit. So, anytime you get in a recruiting battle or a team pulls ahead and they have that pipeline bonus, you're probably going to lose. DJ Rashad, you see USC making a big jump here. They probably have the pipeline bonus on him. So Rashad just weren't able to get that recruitment finished up in enough time. Didn't have the grades to sell. So I think we're still go and send the house on him. And that's why that's not good. That's why you should use visits, but I shy away from visits. Just because of the risk reward factor of them. But we lose 20-17. Looks like we did have, I'm assuming we had the lead, if I'm decent enough at math. We had the lead. We're up 17 here. Or not 17. You know what I mean? We had the lead. And we end up losing to Bowling Green, which is not ideal for us. We should not be losing to Bowling Green. Or, what am I saying? I'm talking like we're like some big-time program. Like, yeah, we should be losing to Bowling Green. That's how much we stink. But, yeah, running game, running attack, just really not that good right now. Still, it's okay. Not great. We don't have the line to have a great running attack. I'd like to have a great rushing attack, honestly. I would love to have a rushing attack that's just like, just bulldozing through these guys in the MAC. I'd like to do that. But, yeah. So, looking through here, blocking. Guys gave up a sack. Andrew Spanway gave up a sack. He's a freshman. And then we didn't get a sack. We didn't get an interception in this game. Our defense kind of did nothing. I mean, we held them down, but we didn't get anything great. So, season finale, taking on UConn. It's 71 degrees. It says that it's in Sheboygan, but I'm going to take a guess and say the weather got glitched with team builders as we get a nice run here with McBride. Or not McBride. Darius McClain. Deshaun McBride, that's a name you're going to become familiar with in Season 2. I'll say that right now. A little bit of a spoiler, maybe. But Scooter Page, great catch right there. My guess is technically the team, all the other information for the teams are in the right location. But what's broken is Scooter Page can't make that catch. What's broken is that I still think I think internally in like the gameplay, it's reading off the teams that they're from like Maitland, Florida. Right? All the other data is correct except that. So for the weather stuff, it's still acting like we're a Florida team. That's why it's still 70 degrees here in mid to late November, as opposed to what it should be is like Wisconsin weather. So that's a glitch. That's been broken now. I think that's been broken for a while, honestly. You guys let me know in the comment section below. That's been broken for a couple months. That's been broken since, I think, September, which is very interesting that something like that's broken because that's like the one thing that worked last year with team builders. So somehow they broke that and fixed some of the other issues with it. So typical EA, 2 steps forward, 3 steps backwards, right? That's kind of how we get with EA. But let's talk about this final game. Taking on UConn, trying to pick up our 4th win of the season. Can we do it? I don't know. We do get into the end zone right there. We get a touchdown. It's so tough running the football here year 1 for us. At times, we just cannot get anything going consistently. But this game, we kind of got a little something. So here we are. McClain on the run here. We could have threw it to triangle, but I decided to just keep it myself sometimes. And because he's probably quicker than that tight end anyway, so it's probably better to just run it with McClain. Throw it underneath here to Chili McLawler. McLawler, he is very slow. He is like almost 69 speed. And there we go. We get this one out to Marcus Bailey, and Bailey goes into the end zone for the touchdown right there. So there we go. 17-10. So now we come back here, 3rd quarter play action, and this is where you just take a deep shot here. Take a shot, gets broken up, and then it's going to get intercepted right there. Tried making a play happen, and they get a big run back. So we can't even be like, well, it's kind of like a punt. No, that's a straight-up interception. Can't even do the... Well, it's like a punt cope that you see bad quarterbacks do when they throw deep shot interceptions. We're like, well, it's actually a punt when you think about it. And it's like, I guess you can think about it like that if you're on like 3rd or 4th down, but it is definitely not like that. You get a nice run play right there. It's definitely not like that if you're throwing it on 1st down. That's not a punt, pal. You just burned a possession, which is what we did right there, and we allowed them to get a field goal. So, yeah, Jared Hubbard gonna come up hurt. You know, I don't know what's going on with the injuries. I feel like the injury timeouts and wear and tear in this game are a little weird this year. I feel like they're a little too extreme, I feel like. Maybe some people like that, but I don't know. I just feel like it's a tad extreme, but you know, it's better than what it is with Madden, where it feels like you don't even like feel wear and tear that much. We take a run here with McClain again. We get in the end zone, we get a touchdown, and there we go. So it's not all bad here, but you know, 24-16, have the lead. Looking to close this thing out. Wish my blockers would just get upfield and block. And then we get an injury timeout. So I'm so sick of the injury timeouts in this game, end of game. It's just non-stop injury timeouts. And it's like way too many injury timeouts. That's been a complaint for a while, and I don't know. They just don't feel, it feels like the college football team isn't listening to anyone besides like competitive players right now. Like competitive Madden players, which is like very frustrating. But we get a nice run here into the open field, get dragged down, and we are 1st and goal here. So very good stuff right here. Game isn't fully put away just yet, and I want to get one last touchdown for these guys. You know, I'm sure there are some seniors on this team. We do have a lot of freshmen, but there's some seniors. Right guard, just absolutely terrible block right there. Just either way, we're going to settle for a field goal. I could have let the time tick down a little bit more, but I decided to just kick the field goal right there and maybe see if we can force him into a turnover. I mean, I'm not playing the defense anyways here. This is play the moments. But we get a win to close out our season. 27-16, we defeat the Huskies. And Darius McClain, 182 yards, 2 touchdowns. Probably one of his better games so far as a freshman quarterback. But we're going to finish our first season 4-8. And that's not where the video stops, because we're still going right here. And if you're still watching at this point in the video, give me a thumbs up emoji. Give me a dog emoji. And yeah. And hit subscribe and hit the like button if you're still watching at this point in the video. You might as well. You like something here. But we are, you know, we get Julius Holiday, but Rashad, he's going to commit to USC. That's just what he's going to do. Again, they have the pipeline advantage. That's kind of the issue. He's only a JUCO guy, but that's kind of the issue with stepping out of your comfort zone or stepping out of your pipelines, your regionality, is that other schools can just kind of outfox you and jump up. So that's disappointing right there that we are probably going to lose Rashad, because we had him like almost the entire season. But we do have this other, we'll take those hours away eventually. We'll see if we actually do lose him, because you never know. You never know. They might change something up with their strategy. I doubt it, but we are going to keep simulating here, and we do get a commit here from David Ryder. I believe he was looking at going to Ball State. So sometimes it's good to keep these guys on your board. But Rashad does end up committing to USC. Disappointing. Again, had him basically first place for a very long time, and then kind of just get burned right there. So disappointing stuff right there. But we do add 3 more recruits to the board. And yeah, Joseph Montgomery, happy about that one, a 3-star, and that's not a 3-star JUCO, that's a 3-star high school prospect. So I'll be interested what his cap breakers are. John Mateer is your Heisman Trophy winner. Maybe one day we'll have a player in the Heisman race. Who knows when that'll happen, but DJ Rashad, only a normal dev, he is a JUCO guy, so it's not too bad. Normal, and then normal for the Other guy, Julius Holiday, normal. Impact for Jalen Jones. And then normal, and then normal for Colin Webb as well. So, Dom Diaby is a 2-star linebacker that we would like to bring in. Again, he is a 2-star. And Penn State wins the Natty. They beat Michigan, so this is before the most recent update. I started the series, so if you're watching this by now, there's already been another update. No one knows what the hell it did. I think it added some uniforms, but some people are saying it changed some things with Dynasty, or changed some things with gameplay. I don't notice anything different. So, it wasn't a great season offensively. And Darius McClain, 1,700 yards, 9 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. Not great. Marcus Bailey, 521 yards and 6 touchdowns. Deshaun McBride with some touchdowns. And then, not a lot of touchdowns for our receivers. They did not get to spend a lot of time celebrating this inaugural year. But 725 yards for Scooter Page is not bad. And then Andrew Spanway gave up 7 sacks. Felt like more. Even though I know sacks are technically they're a quarterback stat. I think it's a little dubious, honestly. But no one got more than 5 sacks in a year. So that's, our pass rush wasn't very good. Not a single interception for anyone. Now, I know technically when I played that first video, we did get an interception in one of those videos, but, and then a lot of fumble recoveries, honestly. So that feels like an inordinate amount of fumble recoveries, if I'm being honest. But we have players leaving, and, we have a player here who is high, Tyler Smith. We're going to persuade him, try to keep who we can. We only have 2 persuasions, so we're looking around. And Mason Holbrook was solid for us. Try to keep him around, and we do. We didn't recruit too many other tight ends, so I don't want to have to go through the transfer portal to get an extra one. I would prefer it if we could just eventually actually just get some high school recruits for tight end and try to build those guys up eventually. But we are going to spend some of these coaches' points here. The goal is to eventually unlock Motivator for some point in Season 2. I hope we can do that. But looking around here, what do we want to do? And we want to spend this up here on defensive line and corner. Kind of get those defensive line transfers to be a little bit more interested in potentially coming here. Did not fire either one of our coordinators. Our OC has Master Motivator, and so my controller is freaking out at this point. When I was recording this, my controller developed stick drift. Really bad stuff. I have a new controller now. I'll be fine. But yeah. So everybody eats. Increase all XP gains for our quarterbacks. I'll keep that. And our quarterbacks get an off-season training boost. But eventually I want to get that ability, that archetype myself, so I can determine those things myself. So Dom Diaby, no one's offered him a scholarship yet. And we're going to put in some work here. Send the house. I don't know. We're not going to be able to sell him. So we're looking around here. Bodie McCaskill, he could be a good fill-in right tackle for a season or 2. And that'd be very nice. Looking around here, do we find any centers? Not really at this point. Looking around for some edge players. And, looking around. And then we see a guy from number 4 Duke on here. And, probably figure there's some guys ahead of him. He's not going to get any playing time. He can come here and be an immediate starter, Tyshawn Reed, and he would be an immediate starter for us. So we're gonna add those guys, try to get them in here. Looking around here at some of these linebackers, and we're gonna take a couple of these guys, try to get them again, guys who are they're not gonna get playing time elsewhere or where they're currently at. So yeah, so we're gonna add Jordan Huff and Tony Mitchell. Try to bring them in, and that's probably gonna do it. Mostly because I want to put as many hours on these guys as I possibly can. We're not going to add, a bunch. We're not going to fill out this entire class because we don't need to fill out the entire class. We're not losing that many players. So we don't have to do that. We're just going to add 50 hours on all of these guys, or at least that we can, honestly. You know, that's just kind of the goal. Get as many of these good players as we can and, kind of go from there. That's kind of the goal right now. And, so that's what we want to do. Jordan Huff, again, safety help would be big. We gave up a lot of big plays during the season. You saw that. I'd love to get some good safety help for us and just guys who have better play recognition, things like that. So that's kind of what we want to do here, but that's kind of what we're going after for our recruiting class. Dom Diaby, that's my phone keeps going off. We can sell this. We do have a hard sell available for Dom Diaby that we can use. Again, it's a 2-star, just a body. Maybe could develop. Who knows what his skill caps are, but we're in a position where we have to do that. We can't necessarily go after too many 3-stars, I don't think, without things getting a little too hairy, I would say. So we come back in here. We have some hours freed up. We're looking around for some players. Still looking for some centers that I would like to get. There's a couple 2-star centers. We'll add them. Are they any good? Probably not. Will they ever play? I don't know. Sometimes with the 2-stars, you can get lucky with their skill caps, where they're like decent enough for you to actually be able to build them into like a usable player. Sometimes you can't do that though, and but there we go. We keep going through here. We're in first place on a lot of guys, and Jordan Huff, South Carolina, stepping in there. It looks like we have a bigger bar than South Carolina, but they have the pipeline. So I'm going to assume that they would eventually just kind of extend their lead as they kind of put more resources towards him. So we're going to get him off of our board. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to reallocate some of those hours to both of these centers. Tony Mitchell, we're going to keep hard selling. At Abram White, we're going to keep hard selling. All these other guys, we're going to keep, sending the house on. I'm not sure I'm saying hard selling, because we're not hard selling too many players right now. Just send the house. Try to get these guys in here. Marshall making a play here. Jaheim Lawson, we're going to take him off because that's not going to happen as we advance here. Tony Mitchell says he's upset about the playing time. I think it's because it's reading that other safety that we had on our board. He's no longer on our board. So Tony Mitchell should be fine. We're still going to send the house on him, and we're in good position to get him. So, end of the transfer portal, we get Rudy Levine, Chris Jones, 3-star edge rusher. Then we are going to get Tony Mitchell. Like I said, he's read that other safety, which means that other safety was a better overall than him, but he's off our board because he was going to go to South Carolina. And then Dom Diaby ends up committing 2-star. That took too long, honestly. But Bodie McHasel, we get right tackle, should start for us. Tyshawn Reed, 3-star edge. Caleb LaValle. I sounded so Wisconsin. LaValle. I think that's how you pronounce that. 2-star transfer. So there we go. That is going to be our first recruiting class. And there's some 3-star transfers on here are always good. Those are guys who should start immediately. They should immediately kind of start for us. And we're going through these dev traits again. And you see normal, impact, but lots of normal here. But yeah, impact, normal, impact for Bobby McCaslin, impact for Tyshawn Reed, star for Chris Jones. So that's really nice to see. Again, is a transfer, but transfer freshman, impact for Tony Mitchell. He's a senior, and then normal for those two guys. So we end up having the 6th best class in the MAC. 12 2-stars, 7 3-stars. You see, no one in the MAC was able to get a 4-star or a 5-star. We're not too far off from the top of the class right here with Ohio and Toledo, both with 14 3-star prospects. But, we're not too far off. So, time for upgrades here. Darius McLean, his, caps aren't too bad, honestly. Only has 4 for accuracy. We're going to spend a lot on accuracy. He was very inaccurate at times. You could tell that in the sim that he was very inaccurate at times. So just going to upgrade all of that. Not all of it, but going to get the awareness up as well. That's a really, since we do play the moments, it would make sense for me to get his awareness up because, you know, that affects the sim. So up to a 73 overall. Nothing to write home about, but you have to remember he is a freshman. So we have Marcus Bailey here, our starting running back. His caps are pretty, you know, he's pretty much capped out, honestly. And his elusiveness, his quickness is pretty capped out. Not much room to grow for Marcus Bailey, if I'm being honest. So we're going to use it on catching here, these last few points. And he's up to a 77 overall. Now, Deshaun McBride, he has basically no cap breakers. He has a few in route running, but that's it. So there is a lot of room to grow here with Deshaun McBride, and we're going to take full advantage of that here, and we're going to upgrade his quickness. We're going to spend 30 points on his quickness. We're going to spend another bit of points on his quickness. He's up to fully capped out 98 speed. So Deshaun McBride, he might have a lower overall than Marcus Bailey, but that sort of speed, Deshaun McBride is going to start for us. Then we have Blake Sutton here. And left tackle, he has star dev, and he has 80 points here for us. And we are going to upgrade his pass blocking like crazy. And he has some caps, but he's still good enough to get upgraded here for all these other ones. We're going to leave some of these blank for now. Well, not blank, but you know what I mean. Not going to spend it all in one place because we don't want him to like get too good and maybe transfer or anything like that. Want to at least get 2 years of him starting out of it. But we still have a ton of points here to spend. And we're going to go back to pass blocking, honestly. We're going to go to run blocking. Get his run blocking up. We still have just a ton of points here to spend. Run blocking into the 80s here. And all across the board, his run blocking's into the 80s. Now we're going to spend here on power a little bit, and then we're going to go back to run blocking, and then we are going to spend some more on IQ and call it right there. So Blake Sutton goes up really big right here, and here's Bodie McCaslin, and he has pretty high caps, honestly. Not much for him to go. We have that maxed out. We're probably going to end up getting his run blocking maxed out. So that sucks, honestly, but, you know, there, that's maxed out. And we're going to spend some more points here on his power. And that's going to do it. And we don't have enough points for any, or he doesn't have enough skills for any of those other ones. But he does get up to a 74 overall. Then we come here to Tony Mitchell, the transfer safety, who I'm excited about. Should kind of hold down the back end of our defense. And we're going to go up here, really upgrade his coverage ratings, honestly. And I'm not sure what they were spending his points on back at his old school, but we're going to get those coverage ratings up, and then we're going to auto-progress the rest of our players like that. And then you see a lot of big overall jumps for a lot of players. And, you know, a lot more players in the 70s compared to what it was for Season 1, where most of this roster was in the 60s. Now we have, you know, a couple guys in the 60s, but I don't really think we'll have too many starters in the 60s. I think most of our frontline starters, for the most part, should be kind of in the 70s. Most of our offensive line should be in the 70s. So that is going to do it for that. We're a half-star program now. So that's pretty big for us, honestly. I don't know. We're a half-star now. Before we were 0 stars, now we're a half-star. Here's our schedule. Taking on Wake Forest, FCS Northwest, Delaware. Then we take on Ball State. Then we play Wisconsin at Camp Randall. And then we play our MAC schedule. So not sure how we're going to actually do here, but our team should be more in line with the rest of the conference. So that gives us a chance, I think, to make some noise here in year 2, honestly. I think really surprise some people, really take a big leap in terms of where we stand in this conference. So I want to thank you for watching. If you watched this entire video, I thank you for watching it. Be sure to hit a like button. Be sure to leave a like button. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think of what I did. Did you like my recruiting class? Did I miss on someone? Should I focus this? Should I min-maxed it more? What do you think I should have did? Let me know down below. And report any issues you have with the game in the comments. I'll probably ask this for the next couple of videos. But yeah, any issues you're having with the game in terms of glitches, bugs, anything like that that you see that's weird, let me know so I can put it in my video for my wishlist video for things I want to see fixed or added or just improved upon for College Football 27. Let me know. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, come back for more Kohler Bluff Timberwolves Dynasty, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.